Fusing Pokemon is literally something that haunts my nightmares. Just the idea of what is even really happening here. Picking Pokemon to be the body and another to be the head, just yeah! Welcome back, my fellow gamers. It's me, Amanda, and I'm not sure if I'll ever sleep again after doing this list. What Pokemon would you never want to see fused? And for people who are maybe burgeoning mad scientists on the inside, what 2 Pokemon would you most like to see fused? Ugh. Number 10. Dustox. Something about a Pokemon that could be seen in both the nighttime and the daytime, can travel really fast, and also leaves a toxic trail of dust behind them. Attracted to light, I don't know, it just sounds pretty unpleasant. For this fusion, we are focusing on the combination of both Rapidash and Dustox. Dustox is a Pokemon known for flocking to cities at night. It typically is nocturnal, so at least during the day you're free of it. Dustox has poison powder on its wings that is often scattered whenever it gets agitated, excited, or just in general when it travels around. And this poison powder is so potent, it can even make someone who is in extremely good health and good shape quite sick. Rapidash, on the other hand, was known, at least during the 2nd gen in Pokemon Crystal, for being spotted during the day, being a diurnal Pokemon, or at least implied to be one. Diurnal, by the way, is basically the opposite of nocturnal, so it's like during the day they're active as opposed to during the night. Which is what would make this combination of the 2 Pokemon so scary. You could then see a poison, racing, flame horse at any time of day, who loves to go near light, which usually means going near populated areas like cities, resulting in everyone getting probably super sick because, you know, poison. And friends, before we move on to our next spot on this list, if you love what we do here at Top 10 Gaming, be sure to check out our Pokemon playlist. Woo, Pokemon! Number 9. Cacnea. Cacnea alone creeps me out. Something about those eyes sitting how they do in the sockets. They aren't like fully filling the eye sockets. There's that weird gap around them. It just makes it look like Cacnea stole those eyes. But anyways, for this fusion, we aren't just talking about Cacnea, but also talking about the combination of Cacnea with Sableye. I'm just thinking with Cacnea's creepy mouth made out of holes, which I guess is what mouths are actually made out of, though not normally that many holes, obviously. That's too many! Anyways, with Cacnea's creepy mouth and Sableye's creepy gem eyes, this is a match made in hell for me. That would also mean we'd have a combo dark grass ghost Pokemon, which in and of itself sounds like a horrifying combination of types. Just something as well about the idea of ghosts lurking in the wilderness or in the grass and being one with the forest that kinda creeps me out. It would feel like nature itself was haunting you, and nature is pretty inescapable. I mean, in general. Number 8. Eeveeark. An adorable but possibly deadly fusion, luring you in with cuteness. For this fusion, we're focusing on the combination of Zoroark with Eevee. Eevee is probably one of the most in-demand Pokemon around, at least in our world, but I have to imagine in the Pokemon in-game world as well, because Eevee's adorable. Zoroark, on the other hand, is known as an illusion fox or a baneful fox, and while its look might combine well with Eevee, who also kind of has like a fox or a bit of like a rabbit look to me, there is some dark lore surrounding Zoroark that is suggested in the games. There are myths surrounding the Pokemon that suggest trying to catch a Zoroark could result in you being punished, trapped in an illusion for the rest of your days. That's a pretty horrifying thought, and that's just if you end up even catching the Pokemon. A Zoroark itself, known for its illusory abilities, could also just cause you to straight up get lost in the wilderness if it wanted to. I think the idea of something so cute but so mysterious and deadly is a pretty scary thought, which is why I had to mash those 2 up. Number 7. Wishidoom. This sounds cute, but it would actually be a very frightening combo when you consider that Wishiwashi has 2 forms, and while one of them is as lackluster as Magikarp, who, although I refer to as lackluster here, I personally still love, by the way. Magikarp is one of my favorite Pokemon, while the other is literally nightmare fuel. This fusion is brought to you by Wishiwashi and Houndoom, and the reason why I think it's so terrifying, as I said, Wishiwashi's 2nd form is known as its school form. In school form, Wishiwashi becomes a larger fish that appears to be made up of various smaller fish. Now imagine this, but then imagine it with Houndoom. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? That would be some creepy, scary Houndooms themselves are frightening, with myths that tie them to the coming of death and the Grim Reaper, and also rumors about how the pain from their attacks can linger even after you've fully healed from it. Number 6. Quackchamp. Just imagine the strength of these two Pokemon combined. It sounds horrifying. And okay, so the name might sound kinda silly that I came up with for their fusion, but the idea of these two together would actually be really scary, just trust me. For this fusion, we're talking about the combination of Quaquaval and Machamp. Machamp is known for its multiple arms, and Quaquaval is known for their powerful legs and bird-like appearance. Quaquaval reportedly can kick hard enough to send a truck rolling away. I don't want to think about what would happen to a human being if Quaquaval targeted them with a lethal full-force kick. I feel like one hit or kick from this Pokemon would either leave you in critical condition or would leave you just straight up dead, because when you fuse two fighting Pokemon, I mean, that's it. Just get out of there, man. Number 5. Alakazam. I don't know why, but the idea of a giant psychic tree just really frightens me. This probably has something to do with my fear of trees kind of rising up against us. I've always suspected that plants actually might be more cognitive than we know, and that one day they will rise up against humanity for causing them so much pain. But then again, if that was going to happen in the real world, you would think that it would have already happened, considering how badly we've already messed up some of the trees, the plants, the wildlife, and forests on this planet. So yeah. This Pokemon fusion is a combination of Alakazam and Trevenant. Alakazam is known for being a powerful psychic Pokemon, one of the most iconic psychic Pokemon, I think, thanks to the anime. Trevenant, on the other hand, is a combination of grass and ghost type and is known for being the evolution of the already horrifying Phantom, who is both cute and disturbing, and who I was talking about earlier on in this video, if you're paying attention. Number 4. Gyarados. I don't know why, but something about the idea of a fire and a water Pokemon mashup where they're both dragons terrifies me. That's what we'd be doing with the fusion of Charizard and Gyarados. Honestly, it makes me think of Caraxes from House of Dragons, who kinda looks like a long snake-like dragon, but that can fly. Now imagine if a dragon like that was also super proficient at swimming. Though honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Caraxes was also super proficient at swimming. Just that body, how it do. And I wouldn't be surprised if this freakish hybrid that I'm creating from my imagination as part of this list was either. Charizard breathes fire, Gyarados can blast you with water, so no matter the environment, if you make this hybrid angry, you'd basically just be straight up doomed. I'm imagining a world too where this hybrid may even be proficient enough to use its elemental abilities, even when it's in the opposite environment. And an underwater creature who can somehow blast you with fire, that's literally something straight out of a nightmare. My nightmare. Yikes. Imagine the water becoming warm around you until it's boiling, and then it's too late for you to get out because the fire has already managed to engulf you somehow, despite you being literally submerged in water. Number 3. Koraidon. I mean, this fusion in my mind would be like a mecha dragon. For this one, we're talking about a combination of Koraidon and Porygon. Koraidon, for those who don't know, is a fighting and dragon type Pokemon. In and of itself, these two types combined in one Pokemon is already horrifying enough for me. Porygon is a normal type, which doesn't sound so scary, but is also considered a virtual Pokemon. Virtual Pokemon are considered to be Pokemon that were created not by nature, but by mankind in some way. Porygon was the first artificial Pokemon to be created by Silph. It was made in a lab by scientists. It was believed at one point to be one of the only Pokemon capable of space travel. Imagine a fighting dragon type Pokemon who could also hack into your computer and fly through space. Sounds like a nightmare I'd possibly have if I had sugar before bed. That always gives me the strangest nightmares, and that would be a weirdly specific one. Number 2. Heatdirge. On the opposite side of the spectrum, imagine what it would be like if you combine two of the hottest Pokemon together. No, not hot in that way. Don't make it weird. But I mean actually physically warm Pokemon. Pokemon that make you hot. In terms of elements, we're talking about this time fusing Skeledirge with Heatmor. Skeledirge is a ghost and fire type Pokemon. Also, it tends to skew more male in terms of the gender ratio of this Pokemon, with most Skeledirges being male and females being rarer among them. Talking about the lethality of these Pokemon and why you'd want to keep them separate, Skeledirge is known for its intensely hot flames, being able to reduce enemies to nearly ash at 5,400 degrees Fahrenheit. What? The only good news is your death would at least be presumably quick. And then with Heatmor, it also possesses a flaming tongue, which it often uses to melt its prey from the inside out. So just imagine those two things but combined together. Number 1. Roaring Miraidon. Roaring Moon and Miraidon are two Pokemon that I would never want to see combined together. These are definitely a pair that could break any game, the world, and if it existed in our world, could also destroy us all. This is some kaiju level monster stuff, guys. Roaring Moon is known for being an aggressive Pokemon, one that humans are actually warned to stay clear of should they spot one. It also might be connected to a Mega Evolution, which is what some think due to the fact that Roaring Moon actually looks extremely similar to Mega Salamence. It travels at high speeds, soaring through the sky. Miraidon, on the other hand, can travel almost any way you can imagine, and has been known for its powerful electrical attacks. Believed to be the mythical Iron Serpent, its lightning was supposedly once used to turn the land into ash. Okay, now combine that with a Pokemon who travels at high speeds and is particularly aggressive. Think you see why this takes the top spot? That's all the time we have for this video today. Until next time, keep on gaming on. Pew pew!